All right. Well, while we get that going, let's get our discussion going here. We're really excited. I'm sure a lot of people in the space here are familiar with Chad Doge and a lot of things going on in their world, and we've seen a really exciting community built around their platform, the media network, the NFTs, everything going on there. So we're really excited just to talk about building community in crypto. And we have a couple people from the Avalabs team here ready to go. I'm Kyle, run social and content here at Ava Labs and Avalanche. And I'm going to kick it over to our special guest from the Chad Doge team to introduce themselves, let us know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get things started. So, Stupa, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I'm Stupif. I'm the community manager slash producer slash head of comms for Chad Doge. I'm here with a couple of the very skilled, experienced, and important team members, but I'll let them introduce themselves. We also have Linsanity on the main Chad Doge account. Over to you.
Hey guys, this is Linsanity. I'm the founder of Chat Doge. Very glad to be here today. Thanks a lot for having us.
We also have Kev, who's actually on the team. Take it away, bro.
Hi guys. Yeah, so now we have the proof, everyone. I'm in the team. No, hello guys. Yeah, I'm also in the Chat Doge team, as you can see, and yeah, I'm helping with the community, organizing events, launching trends, and so on. So yeah, hi guys.
Awesome. Excited to have you all on here and to talk a little bit with our community today. I want to kick it over to Dom if you want to give a quick intro, and then we'll let Jake take things away.
Hey everyone, Dominic here. I've met a bunch of people in the audience. I work on the NFT team. Jake's on my team as well, and I've been a long time Doge supporter. So glad to hear the team talk about their project, upcoming stuff. They've been such a great success of building community. So really excited to hear and learn from them today. And then Jake, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, just wanted to introduce myself as well for those who don't know me. So I'm a part of Dom's team on the NFT side along with Dan. And so really, I mean, today I think we're, excited to dive into learn a little bit more about you guys, that, Chad Doge as the collection and brand, as well as building the community. So with that, why don't we kind of kick it off? I think it's always, a good starting point to kind of touch on Web3 journeys and kind of what led you guys, from the team's perspective to the point of being interested in NFTs, thinking about doing a collection, etc. So whoever wants to take that on the Chad Doge side would love to kind of kick it off there.
Then, do you want to go
Sure,
first, mate?
sure. Let me kick it off. Yeah. So I got into blockchain and crypto pretty early. But then I got burned pretty bad in the 2017 ICO, so I sort of left the space. Then in I think early 2021, I came back because I got interested in NFT. From the outside, honestly, from the outside, it looked pretty stupid to me. But I thought, let me check this out, and I went in and I got hooked, right? But I started my NFTs sort of journey actually over on Solana, and came over to Avax, right, for DeFi. Check out the API and the farming and stuff like that. I think when in Avax, I got into chicken, right, and hang around in the community, and I love it, right. I love the technology. I love the community. So I stick around, and after a while, I realized that there's a sort of an open space for PFP NFTs on Avax, and that's why I decided to start Chart Doge, and I think the rest is history. Let me leave it to other team members to continue with that journey.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'll pick it up. We have Stupid here. We have quite similar stories. So I first got into crypto in 2017 from a friend telling me about it. He was very responsible. He taught me to do it the right way with the safety talk first. I actually learned how to secure my seed, and I actually bought a ledger before I bought any coins.
Wow.
So from there, we went through the ICO craze, went through all of my ETH. and similar to Insanity, I lost a bit of interest when everything went red, right? Just went away for a little while. Sometime in 2020, came back, discovered DeFi. I think it was the middle of DeFi summer. I got rugged on everything on BSC, just leaving me in shambles, right? Just complete utter shambles. I eventually discovered Avalanche, and this was from Taiki Maeda's videos, just on YouTube. Him and Avalanche Rush bridged me over, right? So I learned how to farm and Trader Joe, how to do it on Yield Yak, doing some hedging strategies on Aave, and eventually started, printing on Wonderland, on Krabata, DFK. Had a real good time learning about DeFi, GameFi, subnets. From NFTs point of view, I spent a lot of time over on ETH, just again flipping NFTs, but I always ended up bridging funds back to the home chain. And in terms of Red Chain, once JPEGs was established on Avalanche, I pretty much sold down most of my non-Avax assets, minus a few Yuga items, and kind of just went all in on the Red Chain. So when JPEGs was in their free mint phase last year, it was almost to me like a little mini Avalanche rush where you just came in, and if you took part, you'd get returns. An interesting little project with a cute little chubby dog PFP was minting, and it was one of the rare mints where the entire community rallied behind it, right? Everyone was in support and everyone was talking about it. So naturally, I max minted on multiple wallets, as you do. Most people don't know that I joined the Chad Doge team after the mint. I was an investor first, a top holder, and then I DM'd the Chad Doge account one day when I saw them looking to grow the team. I got talking to Insanity, and like you said, the rest is history. I want to take the chance to give a shout out to Insanity. He took a leap of faith with me, right? So back then, I was just an anonymous Twitter account with no followers, asking him not only to pay me, but to trust me with his brand, someone he's never spoken to or met before. So props. And here we are. Kev?
Yep. So for me, I'm a bit of a late comers. So I just joined crypto at the beginning of 2021, after already the big pump, unfortunately. I joined by myself, so I was quite alone in this big space. So I watched a ton of YouTube videos. It was still COVID time, so I had a lot of home working. So I had a lot of time for me, and watched like hours and hours of YouTube videos about crypto, what was behind the tech, and so on. So at first I was a bit like stupid. I was mainly in DeFi. I learned a lot there, and also I lost some money too by some rugs. But after the crash
Shambles.
of yeah. After the crash of May 2021, I just took a step back on crypto for like 1 or 2 months. It was also summer, so I enjoyed this with family. And then when I came back, I was like, okay, I really need to learn what is NFTs. I was like one of the guys that was like, oh, what is NFTs? It's useless. And then I watched some videos. I talked to some people that were in this domain, and I just loved it. And it's like crypto, but way funnier. I don't know. I just loved NFTs since then, and I've never quit this ecosystem. I just love it. The people are just amazing. And by the way, I was always in Avalanche. I just went afterwards to discover some other communities on ETH and so on. But I just always came back to Avax. That's where, I met my first friends, and I don't know that it's so family. I don't know. There's like a spirit of family there, so I always came back. And just like Stupif, also I joined Chat Doge after the mint. So I was just a minter at first. I had just a few Chat Doge, and I DM'd also Linsanity to say, hey, if you need any mods on your Discord or something like this, I'm here. So just tell me, and I will dedicate time to your community. And also, I think Linsanity to have given me the chance to do this. And yeah, since then I've been a mod, then joined the team officially. Now you know, and yeah, since then it's been a great journey. I'm like learning a lot of stuff with the team. We have some gigabrain in the team, which I'm so grateful. So yeah, since then it's been a journey that I really love, and I can wait for the future.
Amazing. Yeah, it's always great to hear people's journeys kind of into the space and specifically onto the creative and NFT side of things. So appreciate you guys sharing that from that perspective. So why don't we jump in a little bit towards kind of Chad Doge as a collection in itself. Would love to hear a little bit about kind of the inspiration behind it and kind of what was that inception like, the process, choosing the quantity and where it's going to launch. Would love to provide some insight to everyone here on some of those things.
Yeah, so let me take that right with Chad Doge, and maybe leave it to Steve and Kev to share more about Chad Doge supers. So I as I mentioned, when I was hanging around on Avalanche, I saw that back then. I saw that I think the space is a lot about GameFi and DeFi. I mean, there's a few NFT, PFP NFT projects, but I think it's nothing compared to Solana or ETH. So I saw an open space for a sort of a quality project in that space to really thrive, right? If you look at other ecosystem, um, so I think that was sort of the original sort of high level idea why I wanted to start with Chat Doge. Um, then I think when I started it, it was the start of the bear market. Um, so I think everyone was gloomy. People are not happy on CT. So I wanted to do something fun, right? I want to do something fun. I want to create a project that the whole community can rally around and have fun. So that is sort of the second high level why chart Doge. I want to find so it's a chubby Doge. It's a chubby Doge because everyone loves a chubby Doge, and we are on Avax C-Chain, so it's chart Doge. So I think that was sort of the whole thesis around chart Doge. And when you talk about the sort of the art, the coloring, everything, the whole branding around it is a fun community, right? I want to build a fun community centered around good art, good vibe, so people can hang around and vibe with everyone else, and then go through the bad together. That was inspiration behind Chat Doge. I think since then we have done that a pretty good job, and obviously a big credit to the two guys on just spaces with me, right? They are the guy leading all this. Super proud what we have done. I think the with the original idea, we invested a lot in how to build a community with that branding and with that thesis, right? I think that's I think that's pretty much uh, 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 what we have been around about Jados, I think. And the next stage is about Jados Super, and I would let other team members to share what is the story behind Jados Supers.
Great. Yeah, I think just to real quick to jump in, I think that's one thing that we've really noticed and have appreciated is that continued building approach, right? So as you had mentioned, obviously there was the first initial mint, and then something that was great is also the Chad News Network that you guys do and incorporating ecosystem news into kind of that content form. Obviously you had the DNA Vial mint, and now the Doge Super. So would love for someone to your team to kind of walk through how that all kind of connects. What's exciting moving forward in that realm, and dive a little bit into kind of those specific kind of building pieces.
Stu, you want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take that. So yes, there's a lot of moving parts, and it's all part of a kind of interconnected universe that we're trying to build here. You mentioned Chad News Network. Yes, that is a brand that we have under the umbrella. For those who are not familiar, Chad News Network is a short form animated video account that we do, reporting on what's new and current in Web3 news. Educating people on the upcoming mints, or lately we've been doing a lot of educational pieces on how to secure your seed phrase, and what is a mint, and what does floor mean, and things like that. So because we see it's going to be a wave of attention towards short form video now and soon. So we're definitely doing a lot of that behind the scenes. Chad News Network is already a sustainable revenue generating business for us. So it's already generating revenue, and all of the funds from there feed into the Chad Doge treasury to help us build more cool stuff for our holders. So that's great. The obviously the original Chad Doge collection is fully minted out, 3,250. And what we've got coming forward is obviously the Supers Mint. So to talk you kind of through that, where did it come about? So let's go back and see where the supers came from. So sometime back in September, we had a quiz war with Mad Skulls, another great project on Avax. One of our talented artists, Ceviche, she put together a killer poster with a Chad Doge muscled up arm wrestling with a Mad Skull. And then from there, what happened was we got to talking in the team chat around, wow, that looks really good. What if that could be an upgrade? So I threw out, what if we called it D-Doges, Dedoges, like a play on D-Gods and Dead Gods art upgrade. We're bouncing ideas around saying, what if we state your Chad Doge and it gains power levels? And once it hits 9,000, your art upgrades. So a lot of the ideas come about effectively just our team chat organically, just a bunch of guys throwing out silly ideas and writing down the coolest ones. Everything in our roadmap started pretty much with wouldn't it be cool if XYZ? So, what's happened and what's moving forward? So, roadmap moving forward, we haven't publicized our roadmap, and it's worked well for us. It gives us flexibility to adapt and improve plans without really needing to answer and explain, which could slow things down. So what's next? We've already finished our vials mint, and our supers will be coming out soon. And I hope everyone on the space is listening would want to take part. And once that's done, the Chad Doge lab will open, and anyone who's holding an original Chad Doge from the very first Genesis collection and a vial can go into the lab on our website and produce your very own supers. It's a very cool experience where the vial will pull the traits from your OG Chad Doge and implant them into a super. So your King Chad Doge will become a King Super, your zombie will become a zombie, and any other traits to transfer through. Now, obviously, they won't look the same because there's a completely changed, upgraded, different art style for supers, and you will still get your OG Chad Doge back. Don't worry, that's not burnt. The only thing that's been burnt in this process is the vial. From there, we've revealed our upgrade plans just a couple of days ago. So sometime after the lab opens, supers will be eligible to be powered up, and we'll distribute upgrade chips. So what does that mean? That means when you pair an upgrade chip with your super, it powers up into an upgraded super. You'll get more traits or improved traits, and the NFT artwork will be refreshed to reflect that. So you'll get new art. If you use a second upgrade chip with that upgraded super, then you'll get to see never before seen traits, and in some cases, your super might become animated. We call this an ascended super. Kind of wrapping it all up, we think dynamic, changing, evolving NFTs are the new way forward. JPEGs are awesome, but what if you could have more? That's kind of the vision in a nutshell.
Very exciting. Yeah, I think I'm sure everyone's super excited to kind of have optionality in terms of kind of upgrading or not. Hopefully hoping for a dynamic NFT. Love that you guys are kind of continuing to build in that space. that should be very exciting. So looking forward to that. Wanted to move a little bit more to the community building side. Obviously, the space here is building a community with Chad Doge and Stupid and team. Obviously, we've been in contact and admire the work you guys have been doing around the community aspect. Would love to ask, just to start at a high level, any advice you'd give to any other teams, building out a project in a community, right? Where do you start? How do you balance kind of, Twitter spaces with Discord engagement or activity, even outside of the kind of media platforms? Would love to kind of kick it off there and gain some general advice that you'd kind of give to the community.
Let me start first, right, with the high level, and then I think on the details, Steve and Kev can put it in. I think community building is, I think, one of the most important factor in any Web3 project. And I think my number one advice is really invest in finding the best people to do this, right, for a project. When I started this, I know that I need to find a kick-ass community manager. And I didn't rush into it, right? A lot of people reach out, but then I was waiting for the sort of the sort of the right guy, right? And I think I was talking to a lot of people, and then only when I found Stu, I decided that this is the guy, right? And he's not cheap, right? And I don't know him, right? But I know that he's going to be a kick-ass community manager, and after that, Calf, right? I think number one for a founder is really invest, right, in building a community management team, and invest in and give them resources, time, right? We gave we entertain a lot of ideas, right? We execute a lot of idea from this guy, right? To help them build the community, right? We invest in making art, making invest resources in giveaways and other activities, right? So yeah, number one advice is really invest in finding the best people to do this with you, and then invest resources and allow them to do stuff, right? Listen to their ideas and have them execute.
Got it. Yeah, Lynn, go ahead. Did you want to add something, Stupid?
No, I was going to go on and go through my points, but you can feel free to reply to that first, Jake, if you've got some thoughts.
Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead with your thoughts, and we'll jump to the next question after.
Yeah, sure. So just to add a little bit on what Linsanity said, I think investing in good people is the best return you can possibly have. A lot of projects mint out, and they yield farm and they produce DAOs and all that. Awesome, cool. If you invest X dollars and you get X dollars back, maybe 10%. Awesome, cool. What if you invest in people who will give you a 100x return by building, right? I think investing in a strong team is the best investment you can possibly have. So I had a couple of thoughts while Linsanity was speaking around advice to other projects. Not that I'm an expert, but the first one I wanted to make was actually something that Dom mentioned previously around, if you're building out an NFT project, you must have a team. Every team needs to have a dev, an artist, and a front man. So the person who's representing the project to the public, the lead singer, right? So if you're serious about building a brand, you need to have a team, and you need to be talking to the community. Just be present, and I mean every single day. The standard now in Web3, and especially in Avax, has become so high that if you're not tweeting or in Discord every day, if you're there once a week, it's bearish. If you're there once a month, it's a rug. You need to be present. Right? So that's my first point. Secondly, take risks. Try something new. Right? If it fails, get up and try again. My examples I give here is, who's the second Bored Apes? Who's the second Azuki? Who's the second Chicken? No one remembers the derivatives and the copycats. There is no second best. Our community influenced upgrades, with upgrade chips is what we think is something fresh. I don't think it's been done before. And what we're doing here is we're just shooting our shot. We can't guarantee the market will love it, but we hope they do. Just take risks and deal with the consequences that come with it. Don't follow. A third point I have was realize that your community is your marketing department. When people like you and what you're doing, they will organically support you. Currently, most of Web3 marketing is on Twitter. When you've built a strong community, you have an army of dozens, hundreds of people dropping memes on the timeline, right? You'll have a swarm of people screaming, "We like the Doges" on every tweet, every post. What we like to do is we like to find the loudest supporters and value them, right? We've got guys in our community like Wrath, like Sora, like Panda. They're always supporting the brand, and I think it's important that they're taken care of. Not that they need to, but I just want to. We give away free, whitelists to our holders, and soon they'll receive upgrade chips too, right? We want to give back real, tangible value to them for just being a supporter. And the last piece of advice I have is building holder value should be core to every decision you make, right? So every roadmap item, every chat, every negotiation, every spaces you jump onto, how does that benefit your holders? If it doesn't, why the hell are you doing it? So everything needs to fold back into how does this help my holders get more value? And that's my 4 points. What do you guys think?
Amazing. Yeah, I think that's well said on both parties there. And Linsanity, you mentioned, you guys like to entertain, as many ideas as you can. And Stupid, you mentioned, you guys really entertain trying new things. My next question is, how do you guys evaluate, some of those partnership opportunities that could lead to that, additional community growth, whether it's, as you mentioned, kind of that cross-project whitelist opportunities or, speaking with different engagement tools, external partnerships. How do you guys evaluate that, and what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think number one sort of guiding principle is like what Stu said, right? I think the guiding principle is really is it going to increase holder? Is it going to bring back value to our holder? Right. I think that's the number one questions when we evaluate any partnership opportunities. I think it's good when the community management team is actually uh, a top holder or holder of my project. I think this is an interesting dynamic that I haven't seen in the Web2 business, right? But I think having the perspective of Stu and Kev, who are on the team but also are holders, it's a intricate balance, but I think it's good, right? Because they bring perspective, right, from the holder themselves, but also from a team themselves. I think that whenever we have a new partnership opportunities, the first question is what value is it going to bring to the Chart Doge holders, and if the value is great, then we invest in doing it. And I think this is also another sort of thing that we see that work for us, and probably and maybe other project can adopt is I think we when we do collaboration or partnership, we only want to do something new, right? It's not just, I mean, obviously we gave out a lot of wireless and giveaways, but I think we have also some interesting partnership and innovative partnership that we have done, right? We have partnered with IME, right, a big GameFi project to bring Chart Doge to the moon, right? And literally, right? We selected our holder and let them give them some time to really own a planet on IME. We partner with the chicken communities to do the chicken beauty pageant, and a few other projects. Right. So I think collaborations and partnership with other project works. Right. It works to really increase your brand value and grow the community. But I think you need to be innovative about it.
Yeah, thanks. You put a really good point there around me being a top holder and how that reflects in Web 2 and in real life, right? I mean, when people work in a company, it's probably not looked at in a positive light if they are shareholders as well, right? Conflict of interest, gets popped up as a phrase that comes quite often. I think in our space in Web3, it's not conflict of interest, it's aligned interest, right? I want the project to go well, and yeah, sometimes that benefits my bag too. It's aligned. We all want the same things. So to answer your question around partnership, my take is Avax currently today is a small community, and everyone knows everyone. I'm familiar with who's who in the zoo. The evaluation it's quite simple, right? It boils down to, do both parties benefit from this partnership? Most of the time it's yes, right? It's as simple as cross-project whitelist, right? We would get whitelist and get priority over the public, and they would get exposure and volume towards their mint. Awesome, win-win. But not always, right? Me as the CM, I do need to be vigilant and vet projects. If it's only say a cash grab or a potential rug, I need to decline more and more often, because I don't want to encourage my holders towards a rugging, right? With more established projects, we can invest more time into beyond just sharing whitelists. Like Linsansi mentioned, the chicken beauty pageant, where what it was we animated a full beauty pageant video with 32 chickens, fully animated, fully done, with voice actors, MCs, voting, judges, posters, everything, all that. That's a huge benefit to both projects. So what's good, I feel, with Avalanche compared to other chains is it's so small. There's no rivalries. There's no competition. There's a community feeling that we're just all in it together. And Jack, I realized I didn't answer a question you had for me earlier as well, and it was around how you prioritize and balance community building versus holder value. My thoughts are they don't need to be mutually exclusive. Having a good community, having a fun place to jump into and just chat with like-minded friends after work is valuable. We chat and we discuss, the next NFTs to ape into, the best yield farming. We joke around, we make memes, we support each other's tweets and so on. It's a good time, it's a good vibe. But I'm very aware that vibes don't pay the bills, right? I'm very aware that the community is investing with us when you buy a chat Doge. So the priority is always to build, is to generate value first. Luckily, we have a team of artists, animators, and devs that bring our wacky ideas to life. So I can focus on making our community one that you can just enjoy and be proud to be a part of. So you see 3 of us on stage at the moment, but behind the scene, there's 12, 13, hard-working guys and gals, doing art, doing animation, neck deep in smart contracts that help in making this a reality.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's always, that question in terms of balancing those two. So it's great to kind of hear your perspective and priorities specifically in that realm there. I think the last question I kind of wanted to ask you guys before kind of jumping to Q&A is just around, as you guys have kind of built up this community and have had some initial success here, what are the biggest pieces of learnings you guys have had from the project? If you guys were to start over from scratch today, what would you optimize? What would you change? Would love some insight from, anyone in the community who may be thinking about a project or are kind of actively doing the same as well.
Linsanti, you first.
The number one advice I give is really invest in community building, and I think investing is you need to spend a lot of resources in doing this. I think I would add one more thing is really building is tough, right? I think so. We just need to continue to grind. Right? We have a really tough period after mint, right? When the fall price deep before below mean price, and it goes on for a while, but we didn't stop, right? We started Chat News Network. We continue to pump out content. We continue to invest in building the community, and things are after a while things get better because people notice, right? People notice the builders who don't stop building, and they sort of gravitate to that. So yeah, building is tough, but don't stop building.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
Kev?
Yeah, just wanted to add one thing on this question that I think is great also for the new people trying their experience in NFTs. What I can add to this question is also when you're in a space with all the projects, don't see them as enemies, see them as allies. Why I'm saying that is that because for us in the beginning, we were like at some point, like the Discord, like we were the whitelist headquarters. At first, we were contacting lots of projects, asking if they had spots for our holders and so on. And at some point, it was the project that were coming to us because they knew that we were the Discord where you can have for free whitelist spots. So it started like this. Then we also did some quiz war with other projects, such as Math Schools that we've beat, of course, and also with the APA, which we lost, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just example like this, like also the chicken beauty pagans. We work with the chicken teams. Also with on Twitter, we have some meme wars with like the Reapers and so on. Like, don't see the other projects building around you like enemies. Like talk to them, see how they are feeling about the markets. Like it's allies. It's like a teamwork in this ecosystem. So yeah, that's one point I wanted to add. Like it's see positivity instead of negativity with the projects around you. Yeah, that was the biggest point I learned by building with you guys, Chat Dosh.
Nice, nice, and I reflect that thoughts as well. My biggest piece of learning, and it may sound like a joke, but I'm deadly serious. My biggest piece of learning in building with Chad Doge is people don't read. You can write up a fantastic white paper, an amazing article. If it's over a page, they don't read it. Often I'd post a thread or an article and I'd get pinged with questions within 10 minutes that were already answered in that article. So my learn is in the current state of Web3 with NFTs, you need to have messages written for a 5-year-old or a short form video, which obviously we have as well. But we need to simplify it. I take a lot of learnings from NFT God. He writes great threads. He bullet points and he spreads it out really well. So I learn a lot from him to how to deliver messaging better. Um, so since we're going to open for questions soon, just in closing, I know we have a lot of listeners here who are on Avalanche for the fantastic DeFi offerings, right? I was that guy myself. Many of you might not have touched NFTs before, so if anything you take away from this spaces, this chat, I implore you just check out your local NFT ecosystem. You're already on C-Chain, you know. Type into your browser joepeaks.com, look at the top collections, look at their tweets, and see if it's something you want to be a part of. You know, some of the top names you'll see there, Chicken, like we mentioned before, Upa, Rippers, 30 Fish, Peons. I don't care if you're buying them over Chad Doge. Like Kev said, they're not competitors, they're friends. And the rising tide raises all ships. So if one of us win, we all win.
Well said, Stupif. I really resonated as well with essentially, the communication that you're kind of putting out there in the sense of how do you optimize the communication to the simplest form while also getting the points across to the community and audience. So I think that's a great point, as well as Linsanity's, in terms of people notice the building. So we certainly have, and we're excited to kind of see and support, your continued building and kind of see, what that success leads to. So super happy to have you guys up here to chat and kind of speak about building the community and your project today. So with that, we want to thank you guys and kick it over to Kyle for Q&A.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you putting this on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a few minutes here. If anybody in the audience wants to ask a question for the Chad Doge team, I know they went over a few things around strategy, messaging, community building, resources. And we have a lot of people here from different projects, but also a lot of just kind of Avalanche supporters and Avalanche NFT supporters. So if anybody has any questions for the Chad Doge team, feel free to request to be a speaker, and we'll bring you up here. Bobby, you're going to go first. I saw you just popped up. Yeah, make sure that you're on mobile, and also make sure that we're keeping all the questions directly related to Chad Doge here, as we only have a few minutes left. So, Bobby, you're up. Of course.
Cool.
Degens with Degen.
Good chat.
Yeah, of course. I needed one of those. I just, I haven't had it in 2023 yet. All right, Crypto Alien, you're up.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Good. You got a question here for the Chad Doge team.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a simple question, and it's
My brother
which
in
would you
Christ,
say
it
is
still
the
shows
best
him as a listener.
channel to grow the community, specifically here at in the Avalanche community?
Rugged.
So the question is, I think I think it's attention economy, right? I think Twitter is super important, but I think getting the right message out there, is important, right? Long thread probably works, but doesn't work as well as good concise message with good graphic, video, or images. I think this on CT, and I think Discord is super important to build the community, right?
Okay, thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks for the great question. All right, I'm going to add the next speaker up here. Devonte, you're up next as soon as your audio gets connected here. And then, yeah, we do have time for a few more questions. So if you would like to ask a question, go ahead and request now, and then we'll take them up one by one. But Devonte, you're up next.
Can you all hear me?
Yep. Now we can hear you.
Thanks for having me on. Yes, Chad, I have a question. So I'm starting my own NFT project pretty soon. We're actually in the pre-launch stage. I'm starting a company called Mechanical Monkeys, and my question to you is, how do you pick which blockchain you should go with, such as Avalanche? What made you go with Avalanche?
Good questions. We're on Avalanche, so red coin good. Always pick Avalanche, but I think seriously, I think from a founder perspective, right? I think you look into when you decide to pick a chain, right? You look into what competitive advantage you have, right? Your project have, right, on that chain, right? If you look into your project and maybe study other similar project on other chains, and you see that okay, this chain doesn't, it is really your analysis, right? Do you go with a chain that already have a huge ecosystem, and you feel like you have a lot of liquidity there, a lot of interest for project like yours, then you go there, or you go to a chain that you have connections, you have a few communities already knowing you, so it's easier for you to establish your brand, and kickstart your project. So I think it's all your internal analysis, but I think it all boils down to would your project have certain competitive advantage when you start on chain A versus chain B. That would be my answer.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh well, my project is based off fashion.
I'm just going to drop off because I can't hear the questions. I'll rejoin.
Okay. Basically, the project that me and my team is creating is fashion based, and right now we're in a position where we're trying to figure out what would be the best blockchain for us to be able to place our NFT project outside of the realm of Ethereum. Just for other alternatives. That way we can, like, in a place where we can, like, basically in a growing community where we could potentially drive, not in a place where it's already dominated by some of the biggest NFTs like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, I don't know about your project, but I think this is the internal analysis that you have to do, right?
Okay.
When you study the community. But I think Avax is what I like about Avalanche is I think the community is super tight and super supportive compared to other sort of bigger NFT ecosystem out there. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to launch on Avalanche
Okay.
myself.
Okay, that
Yeah,
sounds
and I think just the last thing I would say as well, Devante, is our DMs are open, right? So would love feel free to DM and we can speak about what would be best for you in terms of partners we could provide, support we could provide, any other questions you may have specifically with the community. So more than happy to chat with you on that as well.
okay. That's great. Thank you, man. I'm gonna follow you, and I'll shoot you a message, and we can dive deeper into that.
Sounds
Awesome.
great.
Thanks, Devonte, for the question. Mercy, you're up next.
Hey guys, thanks for having me up. I wanted to say thank you for doing the collaboration with Chad Sports and so many of the female artists in the community. I thought that was awesome. I really loved some of the pieces that came out of that. Wondering if you're going to ever do female Chad Doges or at least more feminine versions, and it's at some point in time that maybe you could use some female artists to help with that. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I think it's great questions, and I think this has been brought up before in our community. Female version of Jado. So not saying anything or not denying the opportunities, but I think on a more serious note, I think women in Web3 is something that we could I think that's something that if we can I think we want to do more, right, for the women representing in Web3. So we have a few kick-ass female holder. We one of our sub DAO is the king, right? And recently we decided to rename it the King and Queen's Council because we got a kick-ass female holder who buy a king. So yeah, I think we are all about supporting women in Web3.
And then a good friend of mine wanted me to ask Hanks down in the listener section when breeding.
A lot of tough questions.
Yeah, Mercy came in to bring the heat today, so I'm glad you guys are ready. Mercy, any other questions you got, or we can move on to the next person?
No, sir, you can let me down and move on to the next one. Thanks for having me up, guys. I
No, thank you for
appreciate it.
joining, and thanks for all the support as always. Uncertain, you're up next.
Gentlemen, hello. I'm a bit outnumbered
Hello.
with this question, but I wanted officially to hear from the Doge team what your favorite sub DAO is, and answer carefully.
Oh, Stu, if you want to take this,
Ooh.
I this is a dangerous water that I don't want to
Well, I think
tread.
Stoop is a little biased.
I think I am.
Same
I
with
mean,
Dom.
there is no second best, right? There is no second best. The Kings.
Dude, Kings
Duh.
are the best. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
Like there's kings and then there's people who can't afford to be kings. That's what it matters.
Kings and everybody else, and then zombies.
Hey, just a lot of talk about King and Zombie, but I wanted to shout out to Broccoli DAO, right? I think Broccoli DAO is doing fantastic work, and that there's now looking for the second member, but I think Pandachon has been super active about Broccoli DAO.
You have to mention.
Don't forget the ninjas.
Well, and
the ninjas also.
family-friendly version, the Hungry DAO.
The hungry, the drooling.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hungry
We've
boys.
seen them around. Oh, so alpha, but I don't care. The new Supers Mint will have some new traits that you haven't seen before, and I think we've just hinted at this, that there will be naked boys. We call them jacked Supers, so shirtless. Wouldn't it be great if there was the BD teams from Joe and Ava Labs, just the gym bros, just united to become to perform under the Jack DAO. I mean, just saying.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, and Alpha here too. Actually, I mean that is one of my favorite new trade in this new collection. Jack is cool.
You're leaking traits.
No.
Oh.
Where's the undo button?
And that's the end of the spaces.
I thought that was like a mistake.
Where's the undo button?
Nice. Well, thanks for the really tough question there, and I'm glad everybody was able to answer. I wanted to, Doji, I wanted to leave you time to ask your question too, and then we'll wrap things up after that.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for putting together this space. Yeah, I had a question really just about, how you assembled your team. I thought it was really inspiring how each of you got to talk about your journeys and then, eventually joining the Chad Doge team. I think there's like a lot of really good resources here that are definitely eligible to join a team down the road, whether with NFTs or with different projects, but they may be worried with, suffering imposter syndrome, thinking they may not be good enough. I got a question for both Stupif and Linsanity. First with you, Stup, what made you confident to actually, speak up and, speak out to basically join the team? And then for Linsanity, what gave you the confidence with what your team said to you to actually bring them on board? So I guess you could start off, Stup, and go from there.
Yeah, great question, dude. So you spoke a little bit about imposter syndrome and thinking you're not good enough. To this day, I still think I'm a bit of an imposter. Like, I've never worked in Web3 before, and I literally, like I mentioned before, I saw a tweet go out half a year ago saying they want to grow the team, and I just sent a cold DM, right? Me, being through, many jobs before, I kind of understood that I'm probably one of many people DMing this guy. I needed something different, right? So I got to talking to him and gave him a little bit of background about what I do and how it would fit into what he's looking for. I think, and I'm keen to get his thoughts on it, is what I differed was around the remuneration side. I said, look, I don't expect a monthly pay. I don't expect a weekly pay. You pay me based on how much sales you do. So it's almost like a commission type thing. So I'm saying, look, my pay is aligned with you. If you don't sell, I don't get paid. So I think me jumping into the deep end there, just kind of aligning my belief in the project, and obviously, I already was aligned because I was a top holder to say that. I think differentiate yourself from the crowd, because the person you're talking to at the other end, one, he doesn't know you. You're just an anonymous account, right? You could be anyone. And there's probably 20, 30, 50 DMs that say the same thing that you're saying. So you have to find a way to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's how I see it actually. When Stu DM me, and back then he was like a total no person account, right? He's not
Still
sort
am.
of an influencers right now, like right now. I think, but I think he was very proactive, right? I think what I like about him compared to other sort of people DMing me is he's super proactive, right? And he's super, and I think it's just one thing I want to highlight is he's super professional about it. And I think that's one thing that we like in not that's something that a lot of people it's not in Web3 when they were DMing me, right? I think probably because of the nature of being anon, right? So it's just some are not, that professional about because I'm that serious about finding the best community manager, and I expected something similar in return when they DMing me, and Stu was super professional about it. And even though he's a no person account, I can tell that he know what he's talking about, and he's he has a plan. He's super proactive. He's doing this. He's doing that. I think that so I think my advice is, if you are serious about it, you got to be super serious about it, and it show, right? The person on the other side would see it, and I think that's super important. And I think DM is open. I just always DM and be real about it, and be professional, be serious about it, and that is my advice.
I'd like to add onto that, like at the behind every profile picture, like as a person, right? And we are building a brand here. We're building a serious business, and looking for a job in Web3 should be no different than you going into an interview and wearing a suit or something, right? So you should take it seriously. You should be professional, because if you just DM and goes up, give me a job, pay me X, like no one's going to take that seriously. So so he nailed it. You have to be professional. You need to treat this like a real business, a real organization, a real corporate, to differentiate yourself from everyone else.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for the advice from being a prospect and also from being the founder as well. That sounds like differentiate yourself, be professional, be proactive, all good things. Thanks for the answer, guys.
Yeah, thanks Doji for coming through. We're gonna wrap things up. We're here at the hour. Big shout out to the Chad Doge team for everything they're building, for coming through the spaces, for bringing the community together on Avalanche. Like you said, only positive vibes from here on out. And looking forward to the upcoming mint and everything that you guys are doing coming up here in the future. And community building is super important in this ecosystem. We want to make sure we find ways to grow our audience, grow the pie outside of Avalanche, but also like stick together around a lot of these projects. So thanks to everybody for joining and spending your time with us today. In the light of reaching out and finding the best talent, we are hiring a bunch of marketing roles, and I think across all departments for Avalabs. So go to avalabs.org. We got a social media manager role open. So if anybody in here thinks they're the social media rock star that Stupif is, then go on our site and apply. But till next time, we got a couple spaces later in the week we'll be announcing soon, and more to come. So thanks to everybody for joining. Any last words from the Chad Doge team?
No, I think thanks a lot for doing this and giving us the opportunities. I want to give a shout out to Dominic and Jack and his team. Right, there has been a supporter. Right, I think we have bugged them a lot of time. We have gotten a lot of advice from them. And the trick is just DM them. Right. Yeah, I mean, it was really appreciated, and we could have not gotten to this point without the support from Avalab or any other and many other community members and other partner project on Avalanche. So thanks a lot, and give.
Yeah, thank you. Kind words, and a big shout out to our friends at Avalabs, Dom. I spend a lot of time in his DMs. We talk a lot of things, and I'll give props where props is due. Chad Doge won't be where it was today without his input. Behind the scenes, he's giving us a lot of advice and all that. And same thing with JPEGs, for helping us launch the very initial collection, and with the supers coming soon. We appreciate you too. We don't forget the people who helped us where we got today. So big shout out. Appreciate you, Avalabs. Appreciate you, JPEGs. Much love.
Yeah.
Same. I wanted just to say thank you to you guys, to Dominic's team. Thank you for the opportunity. We don't take this for granted. So just gonna be short and thank all of you guys, and see you next time, hopefully.
Awesome.
One group of people who didn't help us were the zombies, so bearish on zombies. Thank you very much.
And then we'll save that for another spaces. All right. Thanks for joining us, Jake, Dom. Thanks for leading, and we will see you all next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.